Write what you want to see. Write the movies you want to see. And make the movies you want to see. You got to do what feeds your soul. There are people out there who are telling you, figure out the trends, look and see what's being made, look and see what's out there, look and see what's popular, and write that. And it's like, no. Don't write what you think is going to sell. Don't write what you think is going to make money. Don't write what you think they want. Write what you want to see. Write what works for you. Write what feeds your soul. Because at the end of the day, it takes long enough to write a movie. Danny Strong, who wrote The Butler, started writing because a friend of his wrote a screenplay and sold it for $1 million. And he was like, holy crap, if he wrote that screenplay and sold it for $1 million, I can do it too. So he started writing, and what he started writing were romantic comedies because that's what was selling at the time. And he figured, well, that's what's selling. That's what I'm going to write. And so he wrote romantic comedies. He was a good writer. He had worked as a reader for a production company. He knew what was good and what wasn't good. And people that he knew who were in the business, who were writers, were saying these are really good scripts. And he got meetings and he could pitch, but he never sold anything. And then he went to a play here in Los Angeles. I'm not going to tell the story well, so I'm not going to try to tell the story. But he went to a play. It was a political play. It was so highly charged that people were talking back to the actors on stage, and they were talking back to each other in the audience. It was that highly charged. And he came out of there so energized. He said, I want to write something like that. And then the thought popped into his mind, I want to write about the Florida recount. And so he called his agent, and he said, I want to write about the Florida recount. And his agent was like, nobody's going to buy that. He said, I don't care. I want to write that script. And so there's only one person in town that I think you would have a hope of selling this to, and that would be HBO Films. So they went to HBO Films and they pitched the idea. And they said, okay, maybe. Write the script and let's see. So he wrote the script. And they sold it. And they made it. And it won an Emmy. And he was nominated for an Emmy. And from that point forward, he only wrote the scripts that he wanted to write. He said, I learned my lesson. I learned that if I write the stories that I want to see, that I'm going to sell my scripts. That was his story. You have to tell the stories that you want to tell. And know that there are people out there that those stories will resonate with. They just will. Absolutely.